Once upon a time, I had Lyme disease, and this began a journey of healing for me. And I wanted to share with you about it, a little bit about it. It's a really big, vast subject. So I had Lyme disease, meaning past tense. And when I got it, when I found out that was what I had, I was told that I'm going to have this for the rest of my life. And this really invoked a lot of fear in me. But I decided and chose not to believe it. And I've been symptom-free for about 15 years now. And there are a few things that I wanted to speak about today about healing that I hope might be helpful to somebody out there. And one of the first things is that, first of all, a disease, I like to use the word dis-ease because it's really acknowledging that there's something within me that's not at ease. It's not giving it so much power, right? So when if we take some kind of medical equipment and we try to look inside the body and find something, maybe somebody's looking for cancer and they're looking, right? Eventually, they're going to find something. And then if they name it, they're giving it power. But Christiane Northrup is somebody that I really appreciate her wisdom. And she said once, most things we will die with, not from. So that's just a little bit about not naming it. I was careful at one point in my journey not to call it my Lyme disease. It's not mine. It is Lyme and it is a dis-ease, right? So which the dis-ease is also indicating what I feel about healing is that it is a body, mind, and spirit happening. And those are the levels that we have to approach it on. We have to look at what are the mental and emotional shadows, and what is lurking in the background, what is making us feel not at ease within ourselves. What is our spiritual connection to Creator, to ourselves, our own personal connection to Source. And then there is the physical level. I got bit by a tick, right? So you could call that Lyme disease. But what I discovered in my journey is that on a spiritual level, I had to get really honest that I did not want to be in the body. I remember as a really young child sitting there out in my yard at night and looking up at the sky and just saying, would you please come get me? I don't want to be here, right? And that feeling of not wanting to be here, not wanting to be in the body, not fully wanting to participate in life stayed with me until around 17 or 18 years old when I actually tried to kill myself. And I made it through. I'm still alive, but it took a long time and a lot of healing and a lot of really getting very authentic and vulnerable to recognize that I didn't really have I had a wish to die, or I didn't have the desire to live, right? And on a mental and emotional level, there was so much trauma and unprocessed emotions that were within me that I needed to recognize and move through and to purge. And then on the physical level, there was the bite, right, which could be approached with different herbs. I used ozone therapy. I used homeopathics. Basically, one of the biggest things that I learned in healing, in becoming a healer, is that you have to trust yourself. So when I was feeling unwell, everybody came forward with all these different things, all these different suggestions about what's going to heal me, what's going to help me, or also just telling me that I'm going to have it for the rest of my life, accept it. And what I had to learn how to do is to really discern for myself what was right for me, what was resonating for me. So for some time, maybe it was working with this homeopath. For another time, maybe it was working with ayahuasca. Maybe it was working with neural therapy. All these different things that I worked with, that if something resonated with me, I would work with it. And when it wasn't feeling like it was resonating with me anymore, I just stopped. So I had to really learn how to listen very deeply to myself. And that was part of the initiation, part of really learning how to trust myself, to really trust my own inner wisdom and know that I know what's best for me. Nobody else knows what's best for me than me. That's part of the empowerment process, and stepping out of the victimhood of, oh, I'm a victim to this disease, and recognizing I had some dis-ease and now I'm taking the steps towards processing it, right? This was an incredible initiation that taught me so much, and I'm only sharing just a tiny little bit of it right now. Healing also happens in layers. I had to work through one layer to get to the next layer, to get to the next layer. And slowly, I was uncovering to get more to the deeper core issues. So maybe one of the layers I was working with a lot of epigenetic ancestral line, things from my own ancestral lineage that I had taken on through my own biology and through habit and behavioral ways of being, emotions that I had absorbed. So, sometimes it's working with the ancestral line. Sometimes it's working with what we've taken on as a collective, right? Or taking on from the collective, rather. Sometimes it is really just our own stuff. So there's just so many layers, and once we work through some of the layers, we might think, oh, I'm done. I just cried and purged all these emotions for, the last 5 months, and now I am free. Now I am healthy, and I'm whatever, right? I'm cured. So, and then until the next time that we hit another layer, because this is part of the human process. We are here to evolve and to refine ourselves. And sometimes we get amazing challenges and initiations like a dis-ease to help us along the way. And so when we can step out of the victim mentality and feeling like life is happening to me rather than for me, because there certainly were a lot of times when I was really feeling that victim. That didn't happen overnight. I didn't come to this felt sense and understanding of stepping out of victim mentality and becoming a creator of my life overnight. It was, trial and error and practice and learning new ways of being. So when people ask me, what cured Lyme disease, how did you cure your Lyme disease? How did you become symptom-free for the last 15 years now? I don't really have one answer. And even what I just shared here is just like a tiny bit of the iceberg. What I want to do is I want to empower you to be your own healer, whether you're healing from sexual abuse, or you're healing from cancer, you're healing from Lyme disease, that you have to learn to trust your own inner wisdom. And also that the journey, the process, is really a gift. To remember each day and each moment that this really is a gift, and to not be so goal-oriented towards some cure, right? It's a healing process. And it's a gift. I hope this helps you in some way. And I'd love